Made in Hollywood.
The powerful drama Words of War, starring Jason Isaacs and Maxine Peake, is made in Hollywood.
Initially, even before the script came in, I was told, the script was coming and it was about Anna Politkovskaya. That straight away felt like a no-brainer. The script is going to have to be really bad for me to say no.
Made in Hollywood.
Also on today's show, the contemporary Western Broke stars Wyatt Russell and Dennis Quaid.
I don't like doing any sports movies. I don't like watching any sports movies, to be honest, that feel inauthentic. This felt very authentic. I asked the director, do you know about this world? And he's like, yeah, because this is what I do.
Plus, the football documentary The Quincy Avery Effect follows the infamous coach. Bill Murray and Naomi Watts star in the emotional drama The Friend, and the modern-day love story Honora features Academy Award winner Mikey Madison. This week on Made in Hollywood.
Made in Hollywood.
Based on a true story, the powerful drama Words of War examines one journalist's fight for press freedom in modern Russia, starring Jason Isaacs and Maxine Peake.
War has two sides. I say it has three. The innocent civilians caught in the middle of a medieval brutal war.
I'm drawn to true stories. I've directed quite a few true stories in my life, so I immediately I'm interested. I was intrigued. I kind of knew of her story, but didn't know of the details. Didn't know quite what she'd done.
Initially, even before the script came in, I was told, the script was coming and it was about Anna Politkovskaya. That straight away felt like a no-brainer. The script is going to have to be really bad for me to say no. It told her a domestic life as well as a professional journalistic life. I thought the balance was fabulous. What really struck home was what was happening at home.
That's the best thing you can have as a filmmaker, when you read something and you think, gosh, I can't wait to tell this story, because it's got to be told.
Did you know that the war between Russia and Chechnya is the longest ongoing conflict in the world?
I don't think we need a war correspondent in Chechnya. We need a people correspondent.
We're playing, real life-ish people, but we were, that for me initially was like, how's this going to work? For me, that was quite an interesting, dynamic of creating this character who wasn't from where I'm from, but was in many ways.
You asked me what really happened in real life. I think something like this happened, but we're not trying to recreate it as a documentary. We're trying to tell a dramatic story.
Your wife, she's making quite a name for herself. A bit reckless, do you think? So she's well aware of the danger she's in, so. But are you?
My version of Alexander, because he didn't tell me these things, but there are some things that are very well documented. Like he lost his job. He was a shining star in this political chat program, but actually he was also enjoying the benefits. They might have been violently against this newly elected President Putin, but nonetheless, he was a popular TV star, and he was not when his wife became infamous. And when she really challenged the regime, that was the beginning of his career taking a real downturn.
Oh my God.
The war's come home.
People are killing each other. You get in the middle and you're dead too.
I think it was also important to then be objective and to just try and tell Anna's story as clearly and as objectively and as accurately and as kind of emotionally as possible.
It feels tragically timely, and I think James and Maxine and our whole cast just did an amazing job bringing these people to life.
The tactics employed by the Kremlin is itself creating a wave of violence that has never been experienced.
Talking about acting is like dancing about architecture.
It's true.
Tina's a brilliant actress, and the fact is, you do a bunch of research, you do whatever you can if people are alive, you talk to them, if not, you talk to people who know them, you read it, and then you look at the script, and then you just follow your human instincts that have been honed over decades and decades of creating human beings that seem in the round. James says action. He let us off the leash a lot to improvise, to try and create a healthy dynamic. Yeah. And, we could talk about acting, but the fact is it doesn't serve it. You try and make something real, emotional and truthful happen in the moment, and that's what it is.
There is nothing of value apart from the truth. And I do not intend to stop.
In the contemporary Western Broke, starring Wyatt Russell and Dennis Quaid, a weathered rodeo rider battles the elements and his past after getting stranded in a brutal blizzard.
Nothing and nobody can make me feel as alive as I do.
When I'm on the back of that horse for 8 seconds.
That was one of the original draws for me, to be honest, was the authenticity of what this world brought. I don't like doing any sports movies. I don't like watching any sports movies, to be honest, that feel inauthentic. This felt very authentic. I asked the director, do you know about this world? And he's like, yeah, because this is what I do.
Just the way he describes like shoeing a horse and what goes through there. This guy really knew these people. He knew this life, this world.
What do you do, bud? Ride broncs.
Really?
You may run for a long time, run on.
So much of what True goes through in the story is what I went through in hockey. I had concussions. Doctors tell you not to play. You feel like you get better. You go back. You have other issues, and you just won't let them take you off the ice. In this instance, it was it won't let you. You can't rip me off the horse.
Came all the way to Oklahoma to watch me ride. You must really love me.
We're not in Oklahoma, True. We're in Nevada.
So we made this movie for very little money. We had to have a snowstorm. And so we shot it in 2 seasons, obviously, but we had to have a snowstorm. It had to happen. It wasn't happening. All of a sudden, boom, we get a cold snap. It was a negative 35. Wisdom, Montana. There's no service up there.
Yes, it was like a skeleton crew.
We
both flew in just to be there to catch this snowstorm.
I've done a lot of movies where I had to have horse training, and I always would talk to the horse guys and be like, "Can I come out again?" And because it's fun to learn from. They always get amazing people to
Yeah,
they're always like incredible people, like the national 8-time national cutting champion. And I was like, "Can you teach me how to do stuff?" They're like free lessons. So this was something I got to be able to go do. You can tell when someone gets up on a horse immediately whether they're a rider.
The horse knows, that's for sure.
And so that was, I like being able to be authentic in things, and it was what I felt I could bring to this because I did have some ability.
Don't let them pull you off that horse. Tell you that God's gonna cut you down.
Coming up, Bill Murray and Naomi Watts star in the emotional drama The Friend, and the football documentary The Quincy Avery Effect follows the infamous coach. To find out where to watch any movie, scan the QR code so you can get notified to download the new Movie Phone app.
My first reaction was there was a lot that was going to be required that wasn't written in the script, that basically I had to be able to be a real pretty good actor, which is kind of...
Made in Hollywood. Made in Hollywood.
Now available on your home screen. The inspiring documentary, The Quincy Avery Effect, offers an intimate portrait of football coach Quincy Avery, who helped black quarterbacks break through decades of barriers in the NFL.
You want to play in the NFL, you have to change positions.
They didn't think we were smart enough to play the quarterback position. These young men need help. I can help them.
I think that you're seeing the surge of so many black quarterbacks. So many people have actually had an effect on and the success that they're receiving. But also, I just see a lot of the younger generation kind of hoping for instant success or instant gratification. And I know that that's not the case. And I want to be able to not only provide people a football story, which a lot of this is elements of football, the best quarterbacks in the world, the Jalen Hurts, the Justin Fields, the Jordan Loves, CJ Strouds, all those guys. But I also think the bigger message in this is just being dedicated to the things that you're saying.
Hugh found a way to connect with his clients in a way that most quarterback coaches don't.
Quincy has helped me become one of the top 11 quarterbacks in the country.
I had to go through like so many no's, like consistently, like just people were not interested in the thing that I was providing, but just saying, I'm gonna do this. And what does this look like when I wanna do it? And being consistent and getting those things done. And eventually the world will bend in your favor. But it only happens if you put in the work.
Sports is very much a business. So what we have is a large population of people not getting the chance just based upon how they look.
It's cliche. It's like the black athlete story, but it's real.
It definitely strikes a chord seeing these guys talk about me in that way, right? Because these are some of the most powerful people, like honestly, in the country, right? There's nobody more influential than the starting quarterback of an NFL team. For me to have that much of an impact on these guys' lives, for them to get where they are. I'm not saying I was the reason, but I think that I gave them a push.
I've ever worked with.
There's so much adversity I faced early in my life with family. I've seen guys with so much potential like not make it.
Hugh takes those guys who people have given up on, and he gets them there.
The thing that I've done more than anything is help people live out their dreams, right? And it might have been because I gave them a coaching point, and it might have been because I gave them confidence. It might have been because they could go back home and they're like, hey, he's counting on me to do this thing that I said I was doing. Let me go do that. So that to me is the most important part.
I've seen the Quincy Avery effect in real time, and you can't deny the result.
You get to write your own story.
Let's go.
Now streaming on demand. In the emotional drama The Friend, starring Naomi Watts and Bill Murray, a woman must find a way to face the grief for both herself and her new dog.
I need to talk with you. It's about the dog. I wanted to ask if you could take him.
No, I can't. No.
This is what Walter wanted after he died.
Why would he say that?
You were his best friend.
My first reaction was there was a lot that was going to be required that wasn't written in the script, that basically I had to be able to be a real pretty good actor, which is kind of, but the script gave you an opportunity to really bring as much as you were capable of.
They're dealing with a difficult subject, right? Because, her feelings of abandonment in a way upon his death, and his sadness in his life. There were a lot of unknowables.
He's there at the top of the hill, between the two bridges, silhouetted against the limpid sky.
You're making this up.
I could have a point, but the fact is the dog magically appeared.
Her performance in the movie is spectacular. It's the only word for it. I haven't seen anyone do anything like it in a really, really long time.
It's a kind of a gift to filmmakers to be able to explore things that are that deep and interesting with actors who are so talented and have so much range.
I just can't keep having him here. It's taken over my bed, and it's getting in the way of my work. It's a terrible time for him to just launch himself into her life right at the point where she's trying to grieve. But it was wonderful working with this magical creature. He is highly trained, and they searched the nation far and wide.
We had a big search to find Apollo. We sent out a big web of feelers at like Great Dane societies and kennel clubs and breeders, and we finally met Bing in Iowa, in Des Moines, Iowa. He's a family dog, and once we met him, it was pretty clear that he was our dog. We stopped looking and brought him to New York.
If Walter were here, what would you like to say to him?
I want to tell him that no matter how much I sleep, I'm exhausted.
It's bad enough when someone asks you to sort of house sit their dog for a weekend or something, but she ended up totally responsible for this thing that represented the person that she lost in life. So it's a big thing.
The constant reminder.
Constant reminder of that emotion, that pain.
And the anger.
You're angry at the person you've lost, and yet if you show that anger at this giant dog, the dog could eat you.
I could feel him missing Walter in the same way I did.
The dog provides essential emotional support.
You think it's going to be her undoing, but it ends up being, the gateway to opening up to her grief and connecting with someone.
It's an amazing piece of work, and I'm only in so many scenes with Naomi, but what she does in the rest of the movie is incredibly big, incredibly powerful. It's a big deal. She does a really amazing job.
What's going to happen to the dog?
To find out where to watch any movie, scan the QR code so you can get notified to download the new MoviePhone app. Up next, the modern-day love story Honora features Academy Award winner Mikey Madison.
It was funny, very, very challenging. I was exhausted at the end of the day.
Made in Hollywood. Made in Hollywood.
Now available on Blu-ray. A sex worker's whirlwind marriage to an oligarch's son begins to spiral out of control when his family threatens to unravel her fairy tale romance as Mikey Madison stars in Honora.
Yo, did you pick up milk?
Do you see milk in the fridge?
No.
Then I didn't pick up the milk.
Wonderful. Thank you.
to have a director like that approach me and want to work with me, I've never had that experience before. So I did put a lot of pressure on myself to do this character justice and to live up to any expectations that he had of me.
It was 2009, right after Prince of Broadway. We had a meet and I told him, so what do we do next? So one day he called, he said, I wrote a new script, are you ready to read it? So I read Anora, I was in awe.
Cash up front.
Deal. You know, when I first time wrote the script, I felt about Ivan and about Anora that they are together because both of them are alone. They feel really lonely in this, big rude world. If I get married to an American, I wouldn't have to go back to Russia. When you have, as partner as Mikey, like Mikey Madison, it's like you haven't do nothing. You just can be in the frame beside her and just feel her energy and try to support her.
I think I went into the process and the preparation quite naively.
Да я был с ним 2 недели назад буквально. Он не женат.
Well, you did tell them, right?
Иванжан, открой дверь, пожалуйста.
I can't understand that we really work together. Because when you are working, you have stress. You are thinking, am I doing correct or not? Was it a mistake? Was it a good scene or not? And with the Sean Baker, you are not thinking about it. And it wasn't like work. It was like really, literally life on the set in our characters.
When I read the script, it was very funny and interesting and amazing. And then during the process, I felt like it's becoming better and better.
Yeah, it's absolutely the same. It was very, very organic. Sometimes we don't know what we try to find, but Sean knows.
Like, what do you do to get all of this?
I am telling you, you do not know this guy.
It was funny, very, very challenging. I was exhausted at the end of the day, and it was so hard not to laugh afterwards because it was ridiculous, but awesome.
Stay tuned, there's more coming up on Made in Hollywood.
Made in Hollywood.
Thanks for watching Made in Hollywood, powered by MoviePhone. For more behind-the-screen content, check out MoviePhone.com.
Made in Hollywood.